I first worked with Jim in the theater on one of our many, many shows, and I noticed right away the kind of man he is. You know, I remember I put him at the back door taking tickets, and I knew right away that he was the kind of guy that can handle himself and others without anyone else watching him, because at the back door at the center, you're completely removed. You know, some folks are when they get a position of power, they take it and they make sure that everybody knows that they're in charge. With Jim, it was, thank you, I will do this job, and he's very quiet about his service to others. He's been with us for as long as our database can remember. We went to a digital database in 2008, and Jim's name is one of the first on the list of folks who have recorded entries. And he's done, you know, something like 16 events a year, so just over one event a month. Jim is there to help us out. And you know, when you're only hosting 4 or 5 events a month, Jim's around, and it's very appreciated. It really is.
I've been working at Chippewa Nature Center since 1995, and it seems like Jim's always been there. Virtually every major event the Nature Center has, Jim is there donating his time and his energy. You can ask him to do absolutely anything during our Fall Harvest Festival, Maple Syrup Day, Native Plant Sale. It doesn't matter the topic, he's out there to lend a hand. One thing that particularly stands out to me for Jim is the maple syrup season. Everyone loves that time of year, and Jim has donated at least 350 hours of boiling maple sap and turning it into syrup. Well, Chippewa Nature Center is an organization that's founded on our volunteers. When we first started, we had 1 employee and many volunteers. And as I mentioned, Jim is a life member and he donates his time to so many of our different events and programs, and then he also just attends many things at the Nature Center. He always rides his bike out to the Nature Center and attends programs and enjoys the property, and people like him are what make Chippewa Nature Center work and what makes us a vital part of our community.
Jim stepped up and helped us form the Friends of MCTV when MCTV was facing some budget challenges several years ago, and he's still on the board of the Friends of MCTV. So he's been important in that role. As I say, he's just a go-to guy for a lot of us on the staff. He's not only somebody we know as somebody who volunteers here, but has also become a good friend. Like a lot of organizations in town, Jim Malek is a key volunteer. And when I think of all the people who walked in our door, Jim's right at the top of the list. He's somebody who listens, somebody who offers good advice, somebody you can count on, and he's fun. Jim's just the best.
Well, Jim has been really one of those, what I would call a quiet philanthropist. When we think about our Philanthropist of the Year, many times we think about some of the big names that have had an incredible impact on our community, but he has very quietly had an incredible impact on our community. He does these things that often aren't immediately seen, but he's taken a real leadership role. I think about just on a personal level, he's started scholarship funds at the Community Foundation. He really believes in STEM. I mean, obviously, as a retired Dow Corning employee, chemist, and he certainly believes in that, so he started STEM-related scholarships. He started a scholarship in honor of his late wife. He started 6 different scholarship funds at the Community Foundation because he really believes in post-secondary education. He's just been involved in so many things, and of course fireworks we know is a passion of his, that he loves fireworks. And I asked him, when did you get interested in fireworks? And he said, well, in junior high school. And his dad apparently had access to some things that you could use to make somewhat harmless fireworks, and so he first started experimenting as a middle school student with fireworks and has always loved them. And what a wonderful gift he gives to our community. It's been over 12 years that he's done the River Days fireworks. Every year at the end of River Days, when the fireworks are over, and he makes his way, often on his bike, back to our tent where we are kind of just beginning to tear down, he'll just say, well, what did you think? And even though he's put on what he knows is a fabulous show, it's so important to him to hear what others think. And he'll ask, you know, how did the crowd respond? What was the response? So he's very interested in seeing how others are impacted and how he can really, you know, bring joy to those around him.
as we got to be friends, I mean, I learned a lot more about Jim and all the community involvement he did with the fireworks, with the festival, you know, the River Days, Community Foundation, things like that. He's done with scholarships. So ACS, American Chemical Society, I was active as well in that. So we got to be friends through there, just share some things as well. And then with the brewery, both having, you know, being home brewers and getting started, we were two of the original investors in Tri-City Brewing. So we ran lean those early years. We didn't have any employees, so it was a lot of sweat equity from the investors, and Jim and myself put a lot of time in there. And I ended up becoming head brewer there, but Jim, I think, was there from the start with me on most of the batches we made the first few years. So all the equipment came in 2006, and then there was a lot of work going in and building the brewery, putting it all together, and Jim was in there with us. And then when we expanded to open up a tap room, Jim was in there helping build the bar and stuff like that. So yeah, he's been a big impact on the brewery. A lot of fun going through making batches of beer, and there were days we were brewing, we were filtering, we'd keg and brew. We just did a lot of different things. So it was a lot of fun sharing things, and then a lot of boat trips, sharing some beer with Jim and just having a good time.
Started working together on all kinds of activities, and I've worked on the MCTV crew, and Jim was there. A couple of Loons games at the Dow Diamond, and at the Center for the Arts. You know, we go to a performance and he's ushering, taking tickets, and then with River Days, he's been involved with River Days for a long time, and his focus now is on setting up the spectacular fireworks. And one of the things I like about being a friend of Jim's is that I get a little cook's tour of the pyrotechnic setup prior to the event, and to see the extensive fireworks setup that they do in Chippewassee Park.
We experienced Jim's generosity early on when he gifted many of the neighbors with bags of zucchini. He'd actually hang them on the door and run away. Whether we wanted this zucchini or not, it was hung on the door. He was growing this in the old Dow allotments, gardening allotments out near the Nature Center at that time. Then there were the fireworks. Some stories I really should not share, but it involved running in my high heels with Jim's young daughters, Meredith, Melinda, in tow, fleeing from, let's say, the police. His support of the community fireworks through Wolverine Foundation as a pyrotechnician is ongoing. And we moved from West Briar about 12 years ago, but we have certainly maintained our friendship with Jim and his daughters and his special sister, Sandra, who lives near Cleveland. He is a true friend and a great neighbor. Well, our whole family is Jim Malek, you know, that's Jim. He is good friends with our oldest son, David, and Eric, and Ian, and Sheila. Jim is part of our family. And we admire so much all his generosity to everyone.
Congratulations, Dad. Thank you to Ron at MCTV and Ben at the Midland Foundation for helping me be part of the celebration tonight. Melinda and I are so proud to have you as our dad. You have taught us how to love fully and completely, and also taught us the importance of helping others and your community. We are very thankful you are able to give back to the community that helped raise us. From scholarships for science, technology, engineering, and math, areas that interest you, to the environment and natural resources, areas close to our hearts. You honor our family with your philanthropic efforts. We know you don't like the recognition or speaking, so let us speak for you. Thank you for recognizing our father for all he has done for the Midland community. But thank you also for showing the community what a kind, gentle, and loving man he is. Don't let the curmudgeon exterior fool you. I love you, Dad.